All right, a lot of people talk the talk, but he has been walking the walk for more than a decade. Two-time Oscar-winning actor, but his years as an activist are even more remarkable. We are with Sean Penn this morning and happy to be so. Sean, good morning to you. The work with CORE is remarkable. Let's talk about what's going on right here in Southern California right now and what CORE is doing with regards to testing for COVID-19.
Good morning, and thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Sean. You started this whole thing more than a decade ago in Haiti. What drew you to Haiti, and what lessons that you learned there that you're applying here?
Well, what drew me to Haiti was sort of an accident. I'd had a son who, thank God, today is very well, but he'd had a traumatic brain injury, and I'd seen the comfort that intravenous pain medications had done. And then when the Haiti earthquake happened, I was able to get a lot of morphine and ketamine to the clinics and trauma hospitals, and it turned into a disaster relief organization with the people I went down with to distribute things. And since that time, I started working in the hurricane belt in the United States, in the Bahamas, the Puerto Rico, when the weather was intensifying. And so when this happened, we had the infrastructure of an organization, so we went to the governor of California. He led us to the mayor of Los Angeles, who had already started a very good testing program with the Los Angeles Fire Department. And we were able to plug in and relieve the firefighters up to 20%. So that they could get back on the streets and do the work that they need to do for the people of Los Angeles. And out of that, we had a lot of lessons learned. So we started expanding statewide and now nationwide. And we got 450 at this point, extraordinary volunteers out there doing tens and tens of thousands of tests every day.
What is it that CORE seems to know that certain aspects of our government, and you've been praised certainly by name by Mayor Garcetti, what are you guys doing so right that others could learn and emulate from?
Well, I would start by saying that we stepped into the fortunate position of right-minded leadership in this state, in this city. And so we try at the moment to stay in our lane, because what we know is mostly what we don't know. And so what we do know by listening to the scientists is that testing is a necessary component of this. So we are not scientists, but we are marching in step with testing. And we all know, we've all been hearing about the contact tracing element, which of course concerns us greatly that that's not robust enough. But right now, what our immediate capacity is to take what has become our lane and expand it, but most importantly, to make it a replicable model of coordination between NGOs or community foundations all over the country to work with their local governments, whether it be a small municipality or not. And we put out a manual on our website, on the CORE website, a kind of how-to on setting these kind of relationships up, tapping into pipelines on supplies, so that this can truly broaden out to all of those that the scientific community tell us need to be tested.
One thing that you've done very successfully is the idea of putting tests in quote unquote underserved communities. Talk to me about that.
Well, this is, I think, the first thing we have to do. More and more, again, as we listen to the scientists and the medical community, there are the issues that make this a high mortality rates on COVID are specific to marginalized communities. They're specific to things like hypertension. More and more, we're seeing that this is not just a respiratory virus in its effect, but cardiovascular. It's affecting, there's all kinds of deleterious effects that we're going to be dealing with for years and years. So it's just kind of trying to go fluid with those things that we can build capacity for, to be able to start to pair some of the work we're doing in testing with some things that were needed long before COVID-19 came along.
Sean, as you talk about this, it sounds to me like it's a calling for you. Why is it's obviously deeply personal to you. Why is it deeply personal to you?
I think that, for those, thankfully, I am, I can speak for just my little group of 450. It turns out we are not generally in this country alone when we step out as citizens. It isn't a calling. I think it's a reawakening for all of us about citizen involvement. And by citizen involvement, we're too used to that thing being not coordinated with government. There are great public service people in government who are doing a job I'd never want to do. And when we partner with them, when we partner with the media, we can work together, get a shared purpose, get a shared consciousness. And I think that's what leadership is.
People watching right now, what can they do to help out? I know there's a solicitation, not just for donations, but for volunteers as well.
Yes, we are always looking for willful people who have very good common sense. You take those two things and you're over 18, we can train you and get you on the line and do it within everything that I can understand is safe.
Sean, traditionally when you're introduced, it's two-time Oscar winner Sean Penn. Does the thought about ever returning to acting enter your mind, or is this so completely more important than that? And I don't know if that's the right adjective to use.
Listen, I've been a big beneficiary of a lot of stuff. I've had a blessed life with all of that. But I do think that one of the reasons we are where we are today is because celebrity is a more virulent virus than COVID. And so if there are things that I feel I can be a part of, a sharing thing, and will give me something in return in the creative world, I will pursue that. But I think that it's whether whether the question was being posed of an actor in the movie business or posed of anybody who cares about the work they do, I think if we can't put citizenship first, then we're going to have to blame ourselves first when things don't work out.
All right. A lot of people deeply admire what you're doing. Would the political arena ever be of interest to you?
The great Irish writer was asked that once, and he says, I could never be a politician because I only have but one face.
Okay. And would you say that's your answer?
Yeah, yes. I think right now we are all in a political mission, and that is when politics is defined as quality of life. And the biggest part of that is dignity, and that's what we've got to work to get back from leadership, and look to the leaders who are exempling that, and they are out there. As a Californian here in a city with Mayor Garcetti, in a state with Governor Newsom, I feel like I am having a front row seat with the possibility of a hopeful future.
When you go to bed at night during this pandemic, do you think, gee, there's a lot we accomplished today, or do you have that gnawing feeling, gosh, there's so much more we could have done today?
I think I have that gnawing feeling of, gosh, I hope I don't wake up with a fever and a headache tomorrow, because I really got a lot more work to do.
All right, there you are. Sean, thank you so much. For more information on testing or how to get involved, the organization, it's coreresponse.org/COVID-19. Thanks very much to Sean Penn, Frank and Jessica.